give you a little bit of a story for those that aren't familiar for why we're here and what this is about. For those that don't know, Schreiber Pediatric, in the very recent time to where we are right now, not so many years ago, in the fall of 2012 when I arrived, was ready to go under. If you don't know, Schreiber treats 4,000 children a year. 4,000 children whose parents have been told their child will never walk, never speak, never hold their mom or dad's hand. And Schreiber exists for the purpose of changing those circumstances. But in the fall of 2012, our wait list stood at 2 years. There are children in this world that Doctors Without Borders will see in third world countries that will receive services before the children within the community where you sit tonight were not so long ago. And if we don't raise dollars to continue to make that happen, this care will go away. And the reason it's going to go away is that no healthcare provider, if you doubt me, look for yourself, not Lancaster General, Penn Medicine, not any of the other UPMC, no one else provides outpatient pediatric rehab services. They just don't, because it doesn't pay. We lose $65 per hour to help a child walk, to help a child speak, to help a child who's been diagnosed with cerebral palsy at birth. They're age 4, now they've also been diagnosed with cancer. They're on the autism spectrum, and they would have nowhere to turn in this community where we sit tonight without what we're doing. So what we're getting ready to do right now, because it's unacceptable that we live in a community where we would ever allow that to happen, we're gonna start the clock here, as we have, I see. And we need to raise tonight $100,000. And the purpose of this $100,000 is to go into our endowment fund. There was not an endowment for Schreiber not so many years ago. Today our endowment is approaching $2 million. And you may ask, why is that important? Here's why it's important. Fundraising is hard. Many of you know that, right? Tonight you're gonna help me make it very easy by what we're doing. Because again, if you have a question, what does the money go to? There's no secrets at Schreiber, it's 100% transparent. We use the money to hire a therapist to provide the services. We didn't have enough therapists, that's why there were 2-year wait lists. Hundreds of children waiting to be able to walk, to speak, or hold their mom or dad's hand. That's unacceptable to me as a human being. I hope it's unacceptable to everyone in this room. So right now, as I said, make this task easy for me, make the task easy for the families who on a night like this, it's a cold, rainy night outside. There are children who drive not only from here in Lancaster County, from across this region. We have families who come to us. They live in abject poverty. They have minivans from 1987 held together with chicken wire and chewing gum. And they've adopted 4 children, 5 children or more from abroad. They all have special needs and disabilities. Without this service, they can't help those children. Their entire existence is due to that. I know everyone here tonight, and I'm so thankful for all the support that we receive from the business community, but I think I can speak, I know I can speak for my friends, my dear friends who are here tonight. They don't need one more membership at a country club. They don't need one more Lexus in their garage. What they need is to leave here tonight to know the impact that they're having in perpetuity to help Schreiber, to help these children, again, who without you would not receive these services. So please, once you continue, I see the numbers climbing. We have to be there. We have to be able to help everyone in this community who needs us. I thank you. Let's keep this going. Do you want me to keep going? I can go longer. But that's more who I am. I mean, I tell those stories,
James,
because that tends to be how people.
What do you think you're first? Do you want James to intersperse? I wasn't sure when I was supposed to text.
Right,
James.
now, exactly, that was great. Because what you did would be the
Right.
preamble to that. Then you're
Right.
gonna turn around now and say, does everybody have this phone number?
Right.
All right, Kirk, or not to say Kirk, but all right, guys, let's start the clock.
Right.
Let's start the clock.
Right.
And at that
Oh, I thought you did. I looked back.
No,
and it
that was just
running.
because it's been running. I didn't mean that.
Oh,
that
I
way.
saw that. That's why I went. I thought it already was running.
When did you hope we would have started to text in?
You know, a couple of minutes into what I was saying. When I turned and said,
Yeah.
so what we're gonna do here tonight is get this number to where
Right, okay.
we need it to be, that $100,000
Okay.
that we wanna see. That's what I referenced.
That's where it's
I
helpful,
wonder-
just to reference the screen, because what we think is happening behind us might not be happening.
Right.
So, because the same thing happened, like I had a big start clock on, but it had already gone.
Right.
So then it's about this money, that total, this money, that total, the audience, the story, this money, that total. And it's just verifying. I thought the stories were really good, but you gotta make, you're gonna be the trigger.
Right.
And if it's unclear for the group, then you'll know that by the absence of.
Yeah, you're in charge, so call us out. Say, okay,
Right.
guys, everyone's ready. Let's.
Yeah, I thought you would, I was
No,
about
no,
to
no,
say
no.
start it,
Yeah.
and when I turned to reference the screen, it was already running, so that's why.
I
I
You
thought-
can scream it
Yeah,
out,
already
start
started.
that clock, and that'll give
And
you.
if that happens, make it abundantly clear. You can't make it too clear to the
Right.
400, how many people in the room? 200?
280, 300.
200.
Yeah.
You can't make it clear enough to the person in the back who's getting his ear talked off by some
Right.
person.
Well, that's why I tell the stories. There usually aren't people at one of our events who doesn't out of respect to hear, a child has cerebral palsy, cancer, and they're on the autism spectrum. It usually gets most people, even at the bar, who are
Yeah.
trying to impress
Yeah.
their friends with stories, to stop because it clearly makes them uncomfortable that I would be talking about my new Beamer and my membership at
Right.
LCC.
Right.
There's someone in the front of the room trying to help a child walk,
And
right?
often
People should
that
feel like
works really well
I'm here to
in-
do
in-
something important.
Right
That's
before
what's
you
going on.
kick off this, and then it becomes more about what we're raising.
Yep.
Because that, you got their attention now, and then intersperse it just like you're starting to do.
What is your
And
goal?
acknowledging the money.
I think we need to.
We haven't set it.
We have to talk about that.
Right.
So I don't know why I
got screens here.
We should.
Stay closer.
So here's the story too. There's also the people who, we're about to launch a $7 million capital campaign.
Right?
When I got to Shriver, they had 20 years of budgets in the red. We went into the black year one because I have a lot of donors that already make major gifts every year.
Yep.
We're not necessarily doing that at this
Yeah.
event, you know what I mean? I get, retired school teachers that just gave me $250,000. They come in, we talk, that kind of thing versus,
So-
the special events for me are not where we've raised our biggest.
Right, and it's interesting because your demographic, so totally agree, Horizon has capital things, that they're, entire micro communities they're investing in. But it's good to have a clear goal. The reason I ask is if it's $100,000 and that's 2 therapists,
Right.
and that therapist.
Right. So we're
sees, like,
doing
200 kids a year.
endowments, so it's going really to preserve the long-term.
Got it.
Future of the organization,
Just to,
right.
To make money tangible, I thought the stories were great, but and you know your audience better than I do, so just free
Yeah.
unsolicited advice you didn't ask for.
Sure. All good, yeah, absolutely.
The response I'm getting on the text is a grammatical error. I didn't know if that mattered, but it was.
It does matter.
Yeah. so-
I
Especially for the
noted
education
we
foundation.
need to get some text to Kirk. One of his gifts on this planet is not spelled.
To your planet. You may reduce.
He just wants to make.
Which is funny because his father was my high school English teacher.
That's funny.
So how about that?
Right.
I said, yeah, your dad was my English teacher, and they're saying you're grammatical.
He's not Shriver spelled right, so
Yeah,
that's
that's, you're already ahead of the game, spell Shriver.
I thought that lead-in was spectacular.
Yep.
I think the wait staff and the bartenders are going to be bidding.
Well, I
based on
always say, and I'm not saying, honestly, that is, my job, the title says president, but I have to be chief storyteller because when I got to Shriver, I said in this community, there were people with money who were philanthropic, whose children and grandchildren learned to walk there, who had never given a dime to the center. Because it gets confused that we are a healthcare provider, they see LG has a $330 million surplus at the end of every fiscal year, and they're thinking, oh, healthcare, you're making. The services are free to the family because everybody's covered by Medicaid regardless of household income, but it's not free to us. We lose $65, that's the Medicaid reimbursement. So as a nonprofit, to pay my therapist, we lose $65. So that's why I tell those stories, because as I said, there's a lot of wonderful causes in the world. There's very few operating in your own community that are losing money to help children be able to walk, right? They don't get it.
I felt, though, that it isn't just that you decided you need some service mission in your life to, check a box and
Right.
you ascended to president and this is your duty.
Right.
I can hear in your voice, I can see it in your eyes, I can feel it, and that invests me in this process, and it's spectacular. You are,
Will you be sharing in addition to this? Is there a keynote? Is there
We got a
a 50
video
minutes?
we're producing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we run a video that, again, shows those stories. I tell the stories, we try to also show the human side so they see the
Where
kiddos.
is
And
it?
then our ambassador kiddos are there too.
Right.
The children, so 4,000 kids we serve, we bring 4 or 5 to the event so people can see the kids.
And where in the flow will the video be in relation to this?
Have you decided that yet?
I think right before, I think it's gotta be.
Yeah.
We have
That makes
a
sense.
beautiful video that told the story of one of the kids in detail, very well shown. It's Julie's story, if you get a chance, we showed it, and really reduced just connecting the dots, and to go from the emotional peak of that to get right into this, like, we're right in that emotional curve, and it was, it sounds like just.
Well, you'll be able to refer back to the video, and it's the Grasso family, so you know them well.
That's
and-
great, how good it was.
That's
Yeah,
great.
that's awesome.
I think when they shot it, they talked about how the parents were told she would never walk, and then seeing her walk for the first time.
Right.
So you'll be able to.
That's what you want to hear. That's great. Yeah, this is great, guys. Thank you to everybody who's making this possible. Thank you.
You
Just
bet.
having the available is gonna be
And his
cool.
team.
And,
This makes it so effortless, so effortless.
well, when you said like the wait
Yeah, he's
staff,
Twilio.
my plan is to give everybody a bid number this year. We don't traditionally give bid numbers to volunteers unless they ask, they sign up on their own. Every volunteer, everyone in that room is gonna get a bid number this year, because everybody can do it.
Barb, any questions from you?
I don't think so. I think
we were talking earlier.
we'll have some questions internally, but I think this has been great. Yeah.
That's the idea. So big question is rehearsals for any of you guys. Do we have anything scheduled to get on the stage, test the equipment, make sure we got music that you like? You guys are definitely, I need images. We talked
Yeah.
about that we're gonna be comfortable with.
Who's running the AV for this 2-day event?
Stray on both? That's like,
And they've got-
that's
yeah.
like living like kings.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, and
And
making
you've done
sure it
this-
works. There's nothing worse. I've done it. Gotten up. And before we get started, I want to share with you a video. We have this wonderful video, same kind of story. And
Children, animals.
And then you have to act it, you have to act it out
There's
instead.
nothing that takes the air out.
Spinning wheel.
Well, thanks for that. That was wonderful.
So it's an animal,
Sounds like-
ferocious,
Exactly.
bit the children.
And
Exactly.
especially the.
Kirk will now, through interpretive dance, share the story of
He
Shrugs
ran
Together.
through the woods.
He does better than most. He does better than most.
Absolutely.
But Stray is
When
great.
should practice be? When should?
Well, with
practice
Stray, it's usually the day of.
Yeah.
They're usually not here any time before.
Right.
So if they're in at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, getting the room set up, we can get in, do our thing, go through the whole event, walk with the director, go through the whole event, make sure we have everything caged, because Stray needs that too. They need to know when cues are, they need to feel comfortable, what music at what sections, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You
And
want to
then-
test your internet connection for the laptops at registration, you know?
Yeah.
The good news is both Keller and Stray have been intimately involved.
They've done this
with this,
twice.
yeah. So, we had written sheets with cues, you know, they got inked up heavily in the minutes before, but that way everybody's on the same.
Yeah,
same
That's
page.
awesome.
And Ross, you're not using Keller, right?
No, we've got this one cause system.
Okay.
That'll just be
Cool.
seamless.
All right.
Awesome.
All right.
Let us
So
know how
then-
that works for you, by the way, just out of curiosity. So,
I just said I get calls from our salespeople all the time.
yeah.
I think, isn't the, that's nice
Looking
and,
for a reaction from Barb.
well, that's a nice test. That one cause, how do you can you aggregate drinks and all that other stuff?
I
Silent
could, I
auction?
don't want to get into the drink business.
Right.
Um,
They're doing that, which I think is
Honestly,
fantastic.
The last I heard from Keller, they were a little, I'm not sure it's gonna work with drinks. but
Why? Are they
we'll
feeling-
go for silent auction and everything
Is
else.
this some religious thing
Well,
or
you would need to,
something?
no, you need to have a license. The catering company would have the license if it's a cash bar.
Yeah.
But if Keller is the one accepting the money, then they have to have a license,
For real?
Yeah, it's Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
right? Is that the objection you're getting?
We haven't talked it through. I got an email from them that was like, I don't know about this, and we haven't followed up. I also don't know when you kind of legislate that, because a lot of our people, they'll go and check out, but they might not be out the door yet. They just wanted to get that taken care of. They still want to have fun.
Right.
I don't want to say like you're cut off from drinks now.
Nobody
so you
wants
pay
to
your
wait
bill.
those lines, right?
Yeah.
We did at a number of bars, like the first year afterwards, like, the number one takeaway was more bars.
More bars. Right, can never
And have
have.
them open earlier.
Eddie, thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, thanks
these
a lot.
guys have dialed in. It's your job just not to be a distraction, because it's so effortless. Yeah, you're just a conduit at that point.
Yeah.
So, Kurt, we're thinking that we'd like to do a rehearsal or a practice run-through even before the day of.
Okay.
Could we have access to this?
100%.
Is that just working with you to?
Sure. Or you can do it on your own if you want to even. It's all on the web. I can send you a full kit of instructions. Super, super easy.
Yeah, please.
The big, you want to?
Yeah, because I think we're gonna try to do a run